Still me Allegro, I'm Kid Bride, and yes, this is another unconventional video. Well, maybe not exactly, but this is my first Let's Talk About video. Today I'm gonna talk about the amazing digital circus, because there's just so much to discuss. Seriously, I've never seen such complicated stories that are really exciting to think about. Although maybe I just haven't been in all fandoms like FNAF, I don't know. Anyway, I watched the 7th episode recently and I won't dwell on it too much because I had the same feelings as all the viewers. First, surprised that they would actually escape, then suspicions about a fake escape, and then despair that we were being fooled the entire episode. And that's kind of the point. All the most obscure theories turned out to be wrong, and it turns out that we are completely lost in the search for the right path, and it's not clear what to believe and what not to believe. But one thing we know for sure is that Jax was really close to Ribbit and Kaufma, and he's having a hard time dealing with their abstraction. We don't yet know what exactly led the two of them to abstraction, but it was definitely some kind of argument. According to my and other people's theories, they may have argued because of their different visions of the circus. That is, Kaufman did not take the digital circus seriously, while Ribbit and on the opposite was very attached to Jax and everyone else, even if it was not of her own choosing. Jax may have also gotten used to the circus for a while, but suddenly Kaufman started thinking about leaving and let Ribbit to follow him. Jax maybe was angry that Kaufman was literally leading her to abstraction, and their differences led to a conflict. Jax's attitude towards them can be confirmed by the scene in episode 6 when he looks at the character's doors. Now I want to move on to a more interesting topic: the entire structure of the digital circus and its characters. The theory is that everyone absolutely in it is an AI. Yes, even our main characters, Jax and the others, are also AI. It's not exactly a discovery because Kane himself hinted in episode 5.
The Toy Box character wants us to leave the other intelligent AIs to run for a prolonged period of time.
But it can be understood quite logically. Look, if they were just people in VR, it would be difficult to maintain them. Yes, you could say that they ended up in a coma due to accidents. For example, that Pomni in the real world was in danger while she was in an abandoned building, that Kangol was hit by a car, and so on. And they would be given a second life in the digital circus, but think for yourself, who would benefit from spending so many resources on losers and no-names? Here, they will probably only give an opportunity to Ragatha because she born in a relatively wealthy family. And even then, it's not a fact. I don't think they would send just anyone to such an experiment. Secondly, assuming that this is happening around our time, according to Jack's memories, there are normal night streets, no cyberpunk or super technologies of the future. I don't think there will be such a powerful technologies that would allow you to delete parts of a person's memory or control their mind. I tried to find some experiments with similar cause, but it's all complicated. And again, I don't think ordinary people would be invited to such a dangerous experiment. Also, remember about dreams. How do they see them at all? You could say that dreams are the processing of information that a person has received during the day, but how no one has ever dreamed about their past life. There will be mentions of a person's name, the names of relatives, and in general they don't even need dreams. It's obvious that they are either dead or not human at all. They're simply AI, like an character AI, who were given their history, character, and so on, and were simply given freedom of action and activity. Maybe even King generates them based on archetypes, which is why Jax is emotionally
attached
to Pomni in the last few episodes, because Pomni is similar to Ribbit, maybe. But why would anyone create this? That's another question. I've been thinking about it and I have some kinda ideas. Perhaps all the characters were once human, but due to some tragic circumstances, they died. They were all close ones, and one survivor from this group of people decided to create a kind of psychological analysis of these people, their stories, how their problems could be solved, and so he created a program space inhabited by AI to show other people with similar problems how to act in a given situation in order to evoke associations. It's just like a reality show, maybe. In general, that's how it is. We watch the Digital Circus not only because of the arts with Pomni and Jax, but primarily because we empathize with characters and their suffering. Maybe it was meant to be even more serious, like a rehabilitation AI psychologist who was training on the stories of people with different problems. But is it really just some experiment that was launched on a computer and forgotten forever? Well, I won't be surprised if that were the case, but who came up with it all then? Is there at least one real person among the characters? Oh, well, there aren't many options. First, it could be Kinger. Maybe it's normal that he's the craziest of all the characters. Obviously, the human mind would have a hard time dealing with this whole circus, while others just
attached
to it. It turns out that he can't get abstract because he's human, while others, like programs, simply can't take it and break. Remember how Kane glitched? He also kind of abstract when he gets upset. But how does Kinga live in the circus? And why does the light make him crazy? I think it's just easier for him to handle all the digital stuff in the dark. It's like a phone screen at night. You can't sleep and want to scroll through your phone. Of course, the first thing you do is turn the brightness down to the minimum. Well, if not, then I feel sorry for your eyes. Or maybe he just pretends to be crazy in the light, when he is more unnoticeable in the dark. But again, it's not very clear how Kangaroo literally lives in a circus while being alive in reality. Only if he doesn't leave the circus every day. Do you know what the Kangaroo's room looks like? Of course not, because they didn't show it to us. Didn't show it to us on the sticker with the Kangaroo's page. We only ever seen him in a tent made of pillows. He even says that escape from the digital circus is impossible simply because he understands that the AI cannot get out of the program.
Huh? Leave the circus? How would you... No, that doesn't make sense.
So it's obvious that the Kangaroo is hiding too much. But on the other hand, why did he was so suspicious of the logical structure of the digital circus and so surprised by Kane's abilities? Here there is one opposing theory that King is also an AI. He may have once been human, but perhaps due to some circumstances he left it behind, or they turned him into AI. Or maybe he did it by himself. And that is why he partially remembers what the real Kinga remembered. But why did he create a copy of himself? Perhaps as an administration he did it so as not to raise doubts among the other characters who were in the circus at the time. Or perhaps something happened to him that left the project unfinished but forgotten, leaving a part of himself in the program, and Kane simply continues to keep the whole thing in order so that the program doesn't glitch out from the abstracted characters. And why does he regret something in the past? Perhaps it has to do with the creation of the circus, but it's still unclear. I also considered Abel as a second option, but then I realized he was most likely just an AI too, because he was acting too strangely. Or maybe he really was human, but Kane noticed him in the time and replaced him with an AI to mislead the characters. As for what he said about the device, to be honest, I have my doubts. The whole VR thing confuses me. Unless you believe the theory that they were all friends in the real world and that the developer first just thought up the game and they remembered how they tested it by wearing VR helmets. A third option would be Kane, but that's probably completely stupid. We might assume that he's again the same lonely developer who's just playing with the AI because he no longer has any friends in reality, but then it's unclear why he's so confused by some photos of the office that he wants to find out about. We even saw Kane as a human being, so what if that's really the case? Or maybe it's just a promo video. Of course it did. In general, I don't know, maybe it sounds too strange, but I just don't know what to expect from the digital circus. In general, my assumes are that no one in the circus is human except for Kinga, and even he's probably just a copy of the real Kinga, and Abel who's most likely Kinga. I just decided to give some more or less logical but unusual ideas that I haven't seen anywhere else on the internet, and you can decide for yourselves what to do with them. Yes, maybe this is just a guess about the plot and it's all made up, but I think it can be possible. Maybe everything will turn out to be too unexpected again, and everything will be completely different, like some kind of circus creator. Or maybe Babel is the only human and he controls Kane. It's so complicated. I think it's good that everything is so unclear. Because of the strong non-obviousness, we discuss the series more, which means we pay more attention to it and we are more interested in it. It's pity, of course, that the end is relatively soon, but at the same time, it's not that soon, and we still have time to enjoy this time when we all naively think about the ending of the circus. I personally will miss this very much. Thank you for listening. The comments are always open, so feel free to shit on my opinion or express your ideas and we'll discuss them together. Well, for now, good luck and poco a poco. Woo!